guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Elgems and thank you for joining me for yet another Reddit video. Now you've probably deduced from the title and the thumbnail that today we're going to be on the subreddit BadRoommates. Now I doubt that I'll have to explain to anyone here what a roommate is. I'm sure we're all quite familiar with the term. A roommate is a person that you share a living space with, whether that's for financial reasons, for a bit of companionship, maybe even for safety. But my point is, it's not uncommon to have roommates. We all know what roommates are. Now, having a roommate can be quite fun and quite pleasant, and it's a good life experience for some. However, that was not the case for the people in these posts today, and I'm going to sit back and read a few stories out for you where people's roommates have been messy, inconsiderate, and borderline psychotic at times. So, without any further yapping, let's get into the video. I'll start this video with the top post on the subreddit. This was posted by Certain Medicine 5871 and it is titled, "Roommate thinks splitting utilities means I pay for their crypto mining operation." I know you guys can't see me, but the eye roll I just did, I practically just saw my brain. It's gonna be one of those videos, isn't it? It's just gonna be full of crazy people today. I'm so sorry. I-23F moved in with this guy Mike, 25M, about 4 months ago. Seemed normal during the apartment viewing. Clean, employed, could actually hold a conversation. Red flags? What red flags? Fast forward to last month when our electric bill comes in at $340 for a 2-bedroom apartment in winter. I'm staring at the bill like, huh? Because half my rent is already stretching my budget and now the utilities are through the roof. Turns out Homeboy has been running a crypto mining setup in his room, like full setup, multiple GPUs and going 24/7, industrial fans, the works. Our place sounds like a small aircraft is permanently landing in his bedroom, Lamel. I'm sorry, but $340 is absolutely crazy for a month. That's insane. I'd be kicking off over that. When I brought up the insane electric bill, he deadass said, well, we agreed to split utilities 50-50 with the straightest face. Sir, your little Bitcoin factory is pulling more power than my entire existence combined. I did the math and his mining rig is probably adding $200+ to our monthly bill. Meanwhile, I'm over here unplugging my phone charger when it's done because I thought we were both trying to keep the costs down. The audacity of this man to think I should subsidise his crypto dreams while I'm eating ramen for dinner. Like, buddy, I can barely afford half of the rent. I'm not funding your dreams to become the next crypto bro. Anyone else dealt with something this wild? Currently looking for a new place, but the lease doesn't end till August. Send help, and maybe some crypto money if his operation ever pays off long. No, this is actually so frustrating for the OP. I feel really bad for her, because imagine you're like struggling to make ends meet as it is, and your roommate's over in the other room like, yay, crypto mining, woohoo! Like, that would just be really annoying, and I'd be like, no, I'm not paying 50-50 if you're doing all of this. Because I think 50-50 only applies if you're both using like an equal amount of the utilities. If someone's using like a large amount more than you shouldn't have to pay for their portion. And like, I'm not saying he can't do his little crypto mining. If he wants to do that, then fair. Like, I'm not really sure about the logistics of how effective that is to bring in money, but if that's what he wants to do, he can do that, but he shouldn't be expecting her to partially fund it because that's what's happening if she's paying 50-50 for the utilities. He should be putting in extra money for the electricity since he's using so much more electricity to do this like crypto thing. The top comment on this post says, if you're paying half of the mining, you should get half of the crypto. And I kind of agree. I think OP should bring that up to the roommate and see what he says. Okay, well, anyway, moving on to the next post. This is one by Masked Sophia, and it's titled, Almost Got into a Physical Altercation Over Noise Level. Now, this is quite a long post, guys, but it does come with screenshots, and I love when these posts come with screenshots. Okay, so I'm just going to read the actual post first, and then we'll read the screenshots after. Sorry, long ranting coming, but I really need to get this off my chest. I live in a really small apartment, basically a rooming house since there's no living room and the walls are paper thin. We hear everything, especially through the vents. I've been here for 8 months and it was mostly fine before, mainly because my old roommate, technically my subletter, was also kind of the landlord and worked really early shifts, so everyone kept quiet after 11 PM out of respect, but ever since he moved out, things have gone downhill really fast. My current roommate is an alcoholic and stays up every single night until 3 AM drinking, slamming doors, cooking, watching movies at full blast, gaming and having loud phone convos. I used to stay up late until 1 to 2 a.m, so I let it slide, but things changed recently after some health news. I got blood work done and my doctor warned me I'm at risk of metabolic syndrome. Type 2 diabetes runs in my family and I'm 30 pounds overweight. He told me I need to watch my diet and start working out to avoid the health issues in the future. I've committed to waking up at 6 a.m. for fitness classes and completely changing my lifestyle. Better diet and consistent workouts. I even told both my roommates this, gave them a heads up that I'll be waking up early every day. But this girl has been loud every single night. Midnight, 1 a.m, 2 a.m, doesn't matter. I've been surviving on 4 to 5 hours of sleep and honestly I'm hitting a breaking point. I've texted her politely, reminded her in person, even threatened to blast music in the mornings. I've had to go into her room at night and ask her to shut up. Nothing works. Tonight I finally thought I'd get some sleep. She wasn't home and I passed out early around 11 p.m. Then 1:30 a.m. hit and I wake up to her coming home with 4 people, drinking, laughing and playing music. Her room is right beside mine and I banged on the wall but got no response, so I texted her. She half-heartedly told her friends to quiet down but the music kept going. Then I overhear her talking crap about me, insinuating that I'm playing the victim and that my cat wakes her up in the morning. My cat maybe meowed 5 times in a total of 8 months and never before 9 a.m, and that's being generous. So yeah, I lost it. I stormed into her room and yelled, told her that she was being completely disrespectful and that this is 3 nights in a row. And she has the nerve to mock me for my weight loss and immediately says, "Have fun with your weight loss," in a sarcastic tone. Her friends had to hold her back because she got in my face. I literally had to threaten to call the cops. I'm seriously starting to believe that she's doing this on purpose. Like, how else do you explain it? I've told her I wake up at 6 a.m. every day now. Why the hell would you invite a group of people over to drink and party directly beside someone's room at 1:30 a.m? Please tell me I'm not losing it. I feel like I'm going crazy. Okay, this one is especially angering, and I feel really bad for the OP because I'm sure we've all been in a situation before where we've had like really bad sleep for a certain amount of time and we just become irritable, snappy and like a total nightmare. So I feel like the way OP's acting, like they say they feel like they're going crazy, but even if they are like going crazy, it's completely valid because you're literally dealing with sleep deprivation and we all know that that affects the brain quite negatively. And OP's roommate is a complete and utter plonker. They're so rude. I would not put up with that. I'd be complaining to the landlord if I was OP. Okay, the top comment on this post did make me giggle a bit. They say, "I would literally shapeshift into that lady that's banging the pans together. I ain't get no sleep cause of y'all. Y'all never gonna sleep cause of me." On a serious note, you are not losing it and you are not in the wrong. When you sign up to live with someone, basic decency and respect when it comes to loud noises at a time where most people are attempting to sleep should be at least insinuated in the contract, if not stated. We're giving the benefit of the doubt. Some people are miserable in their own lives. They forget to take into account how their actions impact others. If not, she's a B and is actively trying to make you miserable. Either way, she's in the wrong, not you. Okay, that clip that comment is referencing is quite an old one, so if you don't know what they're talking about, I'll try to find the clip for you.
I'm not done. You think I'm done? It's not over till a fat lady sings. Let me hear you say, "Wop, wop, wop, wop." I didn't get no sleep because of y'all. Y'all not gonna get no sleep because of me. Wop, 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 wop. Yes, stop. All right. I'll get something louder.
I think, OP, you have 2 options here. Either you can take the evil route and fight fire with fire, start disrupting her sleep, be really loud during the day when she's more likely to be asleep, you know, literally like that video that I've just showed you guys. Or you can just take the snitch route and go tell the landlord and work on trying to get her evicted. And personally, I think that's probably what I'd do. I'd be like, you know what, I'm not gonna shut up until the landlord kicks you out because I want my sleep. You know, they say like you're supposed to get 8 hours of sleep a night. That's what doctors say. And OP says they're getting like 4 to 5. That's nearly half of what they should be getting. And that's going to negatively affect their health. And that's not good, especially like when they're trying to take this health journey. Okay, and I said there were screenshots with this post, so I'll show you guys those screenshots now. Okay, the first one, OP says, "Bro, I'm literally going to snap." And the roommate replies with, "Why?" And OP then responds, "Because I can't effing sleep, you just woke me up, all I hear is your friends effing laughing and your music." And the roommate responds, "It's so low." And then OP then responds, "Bro, I'm literally right beside you, the vent is connected." And the roommate then responds, "We're chilling, sorry." To which OP says, "Every effing night, the past 3 nights, you have woken me up." And then the roommate says, "Your cat has been waking me up every morning." And OP says, "Well, tomorrow it will be worse." And the roommate says, "Why?" Another screenshot that the OP attached says, and they start by saying, "It's still too loud, turn it down, I can't sleep." To which the roommate responds, "Okay, I turned it down." And OP responds, "Bro, I've got to wake up at 6 a.m. and it's like a loud massive explosions. What are you doing? Turn it down 1%. And the roommate says, "I turned it down 10 notches now, 10 before and 5 now." And OP says, "Okay, thanks." And roommate says, "It was at 35 and I went down to 25. To which OP responds, 25 is still so loud, it's almost 1 a.m, 10 or 15 should be good." And the roommate responds, "I turned it down to 22. And OP then says, "Just wait till 6 a.m, I'm gonna blast music," with a shrug emoji. OP also attached a couple screenshots, but it was just them telling the roommate to be quiet, so I won't bother showing that to you because it ain't that entertaining. But yeah, what an absolutely horrendous way to be living. I feel like such a broken record when I'm saying this again, but this really is going to negatively impact the OP's health. It's clearly affecting their mental health because they're losing their mind right now. But OP, as I've said, you need to do something about this, whether that's talking to the landlord or, fighting fire with fire. But I think at this point, clearly that's not been working because you've been doing that, I'm guessing, from the screenshots and the post. So you just need to be a snitch, honestly. Okay, moving on from that, we've got a post from Senior Dream 6704, and that's titled, "New roommate hasn't showered for a week." New roommate moved in last Thursday and only showered once that day and not anymore. In this weather apparently she stinks, and today I keep smelling it slightly from 2 meters away. I am a person with a strong sense of boundaries and I don't want to look like a psycho who monitors the shower frequency of roommates, so I haven't advised her yet. What's more, she's been hanging in the common bathroom her smelly bath towel and smelly t-shirt she took off that day. She's making the bathroom smell like having a goat inside. At first I sprayed air freshener towards the corner, but that smell always comes soon again. What knocked me out was that yesterday she borrowed a sanitary pad from me and I thought she would just use it for an emergency to buy a pack of pads. Today, evening full 24 hours passed, she asked to borrow another one, saying that she hadn't gotten the time to buy, and praised that my pad is so good she made it until now without spilling. At first she took out all kinds of random things in her bag and spread them on the dining table, so I noticed that there was a box of capsules for a urinal infection, etc. Like, girl, you're already infected with bacteria, why can't you just wash them more often and change sanitary pads more often? Okay, I've got my own thoughts on the roommate, but before I share what I think, I'm just going to read this top comment because it's really standing out to me. This commenter says, "First off, I would suggest speaking with your roommate about how she's feeling mentally. She could be depressed and hasn't had any motivation to get clean. You could politely ask her if she has enough hygiene products. Second, I would just mention this in the nicest way possible and say, hey, I'm not really sure what you're going through, or if you're aware, but I think you should hop in the shower. It will make you feel better." And I think that's just a really nice suggestion. I think the OP in this little post is coming across as very mean. They're being overly harsh and they're giving me mean girl vibes. Because what that comment is saying, is correct. This girl, the roommate, she could have some mental health problems going on, and she could just be feeling really low, and showering's the last thing on her mind, which, if anyone watching this has ever dealt with mental health, you'll know when you're going through a depressive episode, your hygiene does suffer for it, and I think that the OP's being overly judgy without even asking what's going on first. Also, me personally, I try not to judge people who have bad hygiene because I'm aware a lot of the time people who have bad hygiene, it's because their parents growing up were kind of negligent when it came to that and never taught them proper hygiene, and to someone who, hasn't dealt with that, it seems quite obvious that you need to clean yourself regularly. But when someone weren't taught that growing up, they don't form the habit, and so when they reach adulthood they'll have to teach themselves that, and it can be a lot harder than people might think. So I try to just be nice and not judge people because of it. And again, what that commenter said is probably the best way to handle this situation, you know, approaching it politely, like lightly suggesting that they should hop in the shower is the nicest way to do it. I think regardless that the roommate would probably be kind of embarrassed if you brought this up, but obviously, like, you're sharing a space with someone and you want the space to smell nice, so you do kind of have to bring it up, but I think the way you bring it up is really important. Oh no, guys, as I was recording this video, the mafia have broken into my house and they've kidnapped my lovely cat. Look at this little guy, whatever will I do? They said there's only one way that I'll ever see him again, and that is for you watching this video to like and subscribe. So please do that, help me save my cat. Okay, moving on to one that's slightly more entertaining, less negative. This is posted by Little Red Riding, and it's titled, "My roommate threw a hissy fit this morning because he couldn't find the cinnamon in the spice cabinet." Now, this isn't a written post, it's just a photo. And bear in mind, guys, they've said the roommate's upset because they can't find the cinnamon. Now I'm going to show you a photo, and I want you to tell me, can you find the cinnamon in this photo? Okay, the photo's up on the screen now. I'm just going to give you a moment, have a look around the picture. Do you see the cinnamon? Are you struggling? No? You found it yet? Okay, if you, like the roommate, are blind, it is literally right at the front in the right corner. There it is, clear as day. Probably one of the first things you'll see when you open the cupboard. You see, this is funny to me because I'm imagining the roommate probably came marching into OP's room like, "Oh, what have you done with the cinnamon? Where is it?" And OP's like, "What the hell are you on about? It's literally in the cupboard." And the roommate's like, "No, it's not. I've looked. It's not in there." So OP goes with them and they're like, "Bro, the cinnamon is right there." And then the roommate's like, "Oh yeah, I knew that. Totally." Oh my god, okay, I've just seen the next post. This was posted by Callie Curse Soccer, and it's captioned, "Roommate smeared chemicals on my doorknob," and this one has like video evidence. I've been having conflict with this roommate and her boyfriend for the past couple of months, and my group resigned the lease without her after telling her we didn't want to live with her. She asked to move out this week because the lease is ending. I came back home today and found this on my doorknob and accidentally touched it. I don't know what it is, but I smelt it and it smells like some kind of chemical. Okay, obviously I don't need to say how absolutely batcrap insane that is to do. Like, holy crap, what type of conflict were you having with this woman that's resulted in her, like, trying to kill you? Because that's kind of what she's doing. She's gone, "Oh, well, you're resigning the lease. Well, have fun doing that when you're dead." And then she's put this on your doorknob. To be honest, I don't know what she was trying to achieve with that, because as you can see in the video, it is quite clear that there's something on the doorknob if you were to touch it. I don't know if she was trying to, like, poison her somehow, or I don't know, but this woman's insane. And honestly, the best thing you could do is, like, try and get some admission that she's done this. Like, probably over text is better, because you shouldn't have an in-person confrontation with this crazy lady, but you should try get her to admit that she did something to your doorknob, that she put something dangerous on your doorknob, and then report it to the feds. And that's probably the best thing to do. Get this crazy off the streets. Oh bloody hell, someone comments on this post and they said, "We had an old roommate who was evicted after she put super glue in the locks." But hold on a second. Wait just a minute. That person, they're saying that the roommate was evicted after they put super glue in the locks. So they super glued the locks while they were living there. Why? Why would you do that? But anyway, OP then responds to this commenter and they said, "Talked to a friend and he said it looks like an adhesive and maybe she was trying to stick my hands to the door or glue the doorknob so I couldn't open it." That's really crazy. What do you mean she was trying to stick your hands to the doorknob? What a weirdo. I'm so glad for OP that this person's getting kicked out. I think definitely report this to the police regardless. I know it seems like really minuscule, but it could be a sign that she's going to do something else before she leaves, so it's good to have a report already made to the police, like a non-emergency type report, just so if she does escalate, there's a record. Okay guys, instead of a last post, we're going to end this video with a little roommate special meme instead. So this was shared by YG Burner and it says, "You ask your roommate to take out the trash and they start talking about their anxiety and trauma. bro, just take out the effing trash. And as they said, word for word, it's always the case, like, with these roommates, like, oh, could you please do this basic life skill and life expectation? I can't, because when I was 2 years old, my dog ran away from home to join a circus, and it made our family so upset that my dad left, and then my grandma was so stressed out that she croaked. Like, please, just do these basic life things that need doing. But, alas, it makes us stronger as people. It's character building. One day we'll look back and be like, wow, I'm so glad that I learned from that experience and I'm such a greater person now. Anyways guys, that will conclude our video for today. Thank you so much if you made it through to this point in the video. You're a real one for that. You're so loyal to me, and I think you're so loyal, in fact, that you're gonna leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and then one day I'll reward you by inviting you to my wedding. Thank you so much guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.